With YouTube and social media more competitive than ever, a lot of top influencers have found new and creative ways to make a living on multiple different platforms. Today, Amir and I thought we would break down some of those success stories and some of the trials along the way with regards specifically to beauty gurus, because we're beautiful and you guys know it and we love beauty. So Amir, what should we talk about?
Let's start with Michelle Phan.
Okay.
Everyone knows who Michelle Phan is.
Well, I honestly didn't know much about her. I knew the name, but I didn't know much about her.
You knew the name though, that's important.
That's true, that's true. I knew the name, but I didn't know much about her before we decided that we were gonna talk about this today. And then doing a little bit of research, I learned about her M Cosmetics line. And what I think is interesting is that rarely do you see a cosmetic line not do so well. So she partnered with L'Oreal to launch this cosmetic line, and it didn't do so well. And then she sort of bounced back and bought it again and totally rebranded it. And now it has, I think, in excess of 300,000 followers on Instagram.
Yeah.
I mean, that never happens. Usually it's like, oh, well, she tried to launch a brand, it didn't work out. End of story. But she really was consistent and persistent in her pursuit of wanting to launch an inclusive brand.
Yeah, so she has an interesting story where she started out as a YouTuber, like all these people, but like she had higher ambitions than that. She wanted to have her own makeup line.
What do you mean by higher ambitions?
Yeah, that was for her, that was a stepping stone to get to doing things that she really wanted to do.
But what I think is strange is that she had so many subscribers on YouTube. I mean, she probably has, we could look it up, like what her exact number is. Like she probably has a whole bunch of subscribers on YouTube, and it says a lot about what her goals and aspirations were if that was never her end game. You know, because a lot of people, if you want to become a YouTuber or a beauty vlogger, then you're like, all right, I'm just gonna get X amount of subscribers, work really hard, create a brand that is honest and authentic to myself, that people relate to, that's something different, and then I'll just do that.
Yeah.
And she definitely didn't want to stay on social media. In fact, I think she took like a social media detox.
Yeah.
She took a huge break from social media.
Right, and then when she came back, like you said, she bought back EM from L'Oreal, and she went from that and she divested from another company that she founded with some people called Ipsy, and she divested from that completely. So that makeup company still exists and they're doing their own thing, but now she's focused solely on M.
So Ipsy is Sophie described it as a bark box, but for beauty.
Yeah, Birchbox, Barkbox, those kind of like monthly subscription things. You pay some money every month and then they send you a box with different products in them. Yeah,
I don't know. I don't really understand the appeal of those things because
I mean, it's kind of exciting. It's like it's like a Netflix subscription, but every month you get something new and
what
something
if I don't
different.
like the stuff in the box?
Some months you will, some months you won't.
But then why would I pay for it?
I don't know. Like there's a more recent one that kind of appealed to me. I was about to get it, but then I stopped myself. They send you a different record every month.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
That's cool, right?
Yeah. There's a box like that that I heard about on a podcast, a true crime podcast that I listened to, where it is solving a murder and they send you clues every month from like a serial killer that's sending you.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
especially
and
for
you
us,
have to
since
solve
we
it
like that.
little by little.
Yeah.
And I think that we are seeing more members of social media, prominent members of social media, whether you're a host of a podcast or whether you have your own beauty line, moving into merchandising. And another huge YouTuber that is very big on merchandising and trademarking her name and her brand is Zoella.
Yeah.
It's another, and she's like, I heard the name Zoella.
And she's from the UK.
Yeah, she's from the UK. I heard the name Zoella from a friend of mine when I was working as an assistant. I was significantly less girly than the other assistants, which was always kind of funny because they would be trading Zoella tips on hair. And I would always hear Zoella like, oh, Zoella does braids like this, or Zoella, her fall lip thing is this. And I was like, who do you guys have the same friends? Like, who is Zoella? And they showed me these videos, and I have to admit, I thought it was kind of strange at first because I'm not the person that
the target audience.
I'm not
Zoella.
the demographic for Zoella. You know,
but you know a lot of people that are.
But I know a lot of people that are, and also when I watched her videos, I was oddly transfixed. I was like, because it feels like your friend, and
that's a common theme between all these influencers.
They
have that
they
effect,
trick you into thinking that they're friends with you. Because they'll say things like, you guys know me, and our human nature is inclined to respond, I do know you. You would never lie to me because we have this close relationship. She actually has come under fire, Zoella has, for some of her merchandising choices and how she's branched out her company. I believe it's called Zoella Lifestyle. Recently, she put out a
Advent calendar?
Yes, I was gonna say a Pentecost calendar. It is a different Christian celebration. It is an Advent calendar, and it was an Advent calendar with a whole bunch of different stuff.
Those are the things with the chocolates in them, right?
But not the Zoella way.
There's confetti in these ones.
There was confetti, there was pens, multiple candles, and what happened was she created and designed this calendar, and she said in a recent blog that she was totally involved in the design process. She's very proud of it. She really liked the Advent calendar. Now, where her involvement stops in her own view was the retail price that Boots the store. Yeah, that Boots set the price, and she didn't have any say over that, and people were really upset because I think it was retailing at around 50 pounds, which for what you were getting was a lot for what you were getting. The issue I sort of had with her, I'm happy that she responded to the backlash. I think she probably should have gotten ahead of it and said when the boxes were released, I know these are expensive, because it kind of seemed like she was. She's very wealthy. She's done very well for herself. It seemed as though she was out of touch and didn't realize that people were going to be so upset with a 50-pound Advent calendar.
Here's my takeaway from Zoella's case versus Michelle Phan's. Zoella is more of a traditional influencer in that she created her YouTube channel and got really popular, and then other brands wanted to start working with her. And so she gets the majority of her wealth from paid sponsorships and advertisements like that. Versus Michelle Phan, who really cared about creating a business more so than just being an influencer and getting ad dollars that way.
And it'll be interesting to see what is more lucrative. I know Michelle Phan has been on the Forbes 30 under 30 list a whole bunch. I think 2015, 2016, I'm not sure.
Because more so than being an influencer, again, she's a business woman.
But so
and not to say that Zoella doesn't have her hands in business and whatnot, but it seems that she's following kind of the more traditional route that you hear from a lot of different YouTube influencers and such, that brands just come and associate themselves with this. They're like, please talk about our products and we're gonna pay you a lot of money. And she made a lot of money that way, and she's kind of a fixture in British society.
And I think she's trying to brand herself and create Zoella Lifestyle and have it be a success. It's just there have been a couple kinks, I would say, along the way that they need to work out. I think pricing is huge. And then there's one last person we're gonna discuss today.
Who you probably have not heard of. I'm not sure, actually. I'm curious to see if our audience has heard about her. Because I definitely hadn't. Had you? Yeah, because it's on the other side of the world where like it's interesting how information from China like doesn't really translate that well to the rest of the world, and vice versa.
It's crossover.
They have like their whole entire world out there.
Yeah, it's crossover.
But like no, but like I mean like between like the UK and Europe, like you kind of get that information back and forth between America and that. But then when it comes to China, like they have like their own celebrities, their own influencers that like we may not hear about, and they don't hear about influencers and celebrities from Western culture as much either. So who is this person?
Momo Zhang, and we visited her Weibo page to check it out. It seems as though she has a different approach.
Yeah, what's Weibo?
This is fun. We were on Weibo earlier. We went back and forth. We think it's like a hybrid between Twitter and Instagram. I said it kind of reminded me of MySpace a little bit back in the day, just the formatting of the page. It's super accessible. Neither of us speak Mandarin, so
I really like it, even though obviously I can't read this, but one thing that really stands out to me on her Weibo page is that she's a level 47. And that's just like a cool little gamey aspect of this social media that I kind of wish that Facebook.
They have levels?
Yeah, and I'm guessing like level 47 is pretty high if she has almost 7 million followers.
What?
Yeah, like that's like a cool little RPG element. Anyway, getting sidetracked there.
Yeah, levels would be cool, but people would I mean, that'd be the new sort of verification.
Yeah.
Like level 46, bitch.
Yeah.
So she is a little bit less of a video beauty guru, and she's a little bit more on the business side of things.
Right, I mean, she still has a huge social media following.
But I think that if you are a business owner in the way that beauty products today, think of Jeffree Star Cosmetics as well. you are buying a product, or Kylie Jenner is another great example. You buy a product from those people because you like their look and you would like to emulate in some way, shape, or form their look. So you have to sort of become the brand. It's not as simple as like, I vouch for this product even though it has nothing to do with me. So it's not surprising that while she is more focused on the business side of things, Momo still recognizes that she has to align her social media presence with this brand, even though she is way more focused on the success of the brand.
She's definitely a lot her case is a lot closer to Michelle Phan's because like she created a business. The difference I found from reading about her is that she really controls every aspect of her beauty line and cosmetics line.
Down to like retail?
Yeah, and she's really found a way to integrate that with her social media following and her influencer following to create like an amazing business e-commerce business model.
It's hard though, because you see, you know, when Michelle Phan was starting out her business line, she had to partner with L'Oreal because she was incredibly established and popular in the beauty world, but it still speaks volumes when you partner with a, you know, huge conglomerate like L'Oreal. And it's harder to start your business line from nothing. Like Zoella, I'm sure, I'm not well versed in this, but I'm sure she was selling some stuff on the side, but it wasn't until her partnership with Boots where she could look at real sort of brand trademarking money.
Right.
And that's why she's really trying to launch Zoella Lifestyle. I mean, even to a lesser extent, JoJo Siwa has a line of bows, but she has to partner with Target in order to get them. I mean, she could probably make bows on her own through, you know, finding her own factory to help make these bows, but you're not gonna get the sort of exposure and broad appeal as if you were to partner with Target, which is why you see a lot of them do that. But Momo was bold enough to do a lot of this stuff on her own and go a little bit more rogue than understandably some other influencers wanna do, because it's a huge risk.
And she was never really beholden to having to work with really big corporations and kind of being a subsidiary of them. She was really able to be the first of her kind. And just like to read off like some of the different things that she's accomplished in the Chinese market, she's the top #1 influencer with most commercial value, according to Weibo. And she has more than 15 million followers in China, and she's the leader of all domestic cosmetics there, amongst other things.
Really?
So like that alone I feel separates her from Zoella and Michelle Phan a lot. She's like really crushing it in the Chinese market.
That's really interesting.
And I'm curious to see how that's gonna translate outside of China, but I guess talking about all this, it's super interesting to see like how influencers are gonna continue 5-10 years from now and into the rest of their lives. Because I mean, just being a social media influencer, that was one thing, that was like the infancy of when they started, but how do you keep going after that? How do you keep evolving after that? And you see that with the 3 people that we've talked, like what they're doing, and it's more of a business at that point, and you have to keep just adapting and changing what you're gonna do with what you're trying to sell.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because it is also open-ended. We can talk about what they have done and what they are currently doing, but the outcome for the legacy of a social media or YouTube personality, vlogger, is as yet to be unseen.
And like we're talking specifically about beauty bloggers and stuff, and that's like intrinsically tied with commerce because beauty and makeup go hand in hand together. So, but like we haven't talked about other influencers like the Jake Pauls of the world or the PewDiePies of the world. How do they continue to make money once this just doesn't work out anymore, what they're currently doing?
Well, I think that what—
it's a conversation for another time.
Yeah. I mean, I think that what you are seeing is people did take a cue from beauty bloggers, vloggers, in that commoditizing your look and what people tune into your channel, giving them something tangible, a tangible product, and especially a good one. Because have you seen the reviews of like beauty product reviews? If it's good, they're great. But if someone like unboxes your product and it's awful, they will lay into you.
It's only fair.
Because I remember when Kylie Jenner's lip kits came out, a lot of people had complaints about them, and you would see these reviews, sort of like these unboxing videos, and they would just tear into them, and the product wasn't that good, and that was a huge misstep in the launch of Kylie's brand. Now, fortunately, it seems like she's on the straight and narrow right now with her brand, but it just can't be. It can't be overstated how important influencers feel it is to give their viewers, their fans, a tangible piece of property of theirs.
Yeah.
You know, like this is if you like my look, I'm gonna give it to you, or not give it to you. You're gonna pay sometimes 50 pounds for it.
Yeah. Are you more comfortable buying a product from an influencer versus buying it just from a company or a brand?
I think I'm more inclined to, I mean, it really depends on what it is, but if there's an influencer, I also love how much we're saying the word influencer. If there's an influencer or a vlogger or a personality that I really follow and believe in and support, I am very likely to buy their stuff because you want to support
trust them.
Yeah,
they've built that trust with you. So,
yeah, and I think that that's it can make a career, as we were just talking about. Now we want to toss it to you guys in the comment section below. What do you think about the figures that we discussed? Do you follow any of them? What do you think about beauty vloggers, gurus, YouTube personalities monetizing their reach and their following? Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, and we will see you next time on Pop Trigger.